Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, July the 15th, race number 5 at Canterbury Park. Let's throw up the field for the $100,000 Mystic Lake Derby. 3-year-olds going 1 mile on the turf. This race kicks off a 10% takeout in the pick 5. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Download them and handicap along with us. Mike Maker has had a great deal of success in this race. I believe he's won it the last 2 years, and he sends out your morning line favorite, the number 4, Angelus Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, this horse looks very logical to me, Dan. His last 2 races since Maker took over, they're both pretty good, and they would both make him pretty tough in this spot, I think.
And he likes to sit from off the pace, and I have a feeling that this pace is even going to be quicker than the Timeform U.S. pace projector indicates. We've got 2 very fleet stretch-out sprinters trying turf for the first time. The 2 Plain Talk, the 5 Hondo Lane, they are fast, and I would expect them to go a solid pace.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a good pace in this race, too. I think that actually works to the advantage of the 2 favorites in here. Probably Maker more than the other one, but both those horses can sit a little bit.
Ian Wilkes won this race a few years ago, and he's going to send out the number 1 Bayou Prospector, a horse that did come from off the pace to win 2 starts back. Last time out, they tried a little bit more aggressive tactics with him. He got out to a nice, clear, uncontested lead, slowed down the pace on the backstretch, came off the rail turning into the stretch, and the horse that eventually inherited the rail came up and beat him down towards the inside. That race did produce 2 next-out winners, the runner-up coming back to score in an off-the-turf race with a 78 buyer. This horse is stepping up in class, but he seems in sharp form.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with any of that. I mean, I think his last 2 races are both fine. When he won for 42 back, I thought he ran okay that day. I mean, all in all, Landeros gave him a perfect trip in that race, and he took advantage a little bit, but he ran fine in that race, and his figures are heading the right way. He's on the cusp of being very competitive in here.
Plain Talk is the number 2, trying turf for the first time off of a victory in a maiden special weight. We'll watch that race right now. This race was on dirt at Canterbury, going 5.5 furlongs, and Plain Talk showed good speed from the beginning. The question is turf and distance. He's tried 2 turns in the past, did not work out for him, and his sire Conveyance has yet to sire a first turf winner. He is 0 for 10. The Dam did win on the surface, and there's a little family, horses like Parade Ground and Everhope. They were decent turf horses. But Plain Talk has a lot to answer here in 2 turns and a surface switch.
Yeah, I was more concerned about the distance than I was about the pedigree. I mean, I don't think he's got a great pedigree for turf, but there's a little bit of grass in there. I'm not really sure how far he wants to go, though, especially if the pace gets fast.
Summer Assault is the number 3. Gate-to-wire winner at Tampa Bay. Let's watch that race right now. This was him stretching out from 5 to 1 mile and a 16th. He got out to a nice, easy lead. And again, a nice ride on the backstretch where he got a breather. And when they came to him entering the second turn, he pulled clear again and was able to score with a respectable 78 buyer speed figure. He has won from off the pace, and those tactics are likely going to replicate themselves here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, he looked, if you watch his other races, that one that we just watched, he just basically got loose on the lead early and won pretty handily. I thought that was a nice effort, but he's run well from off the pace before. So, I wasn't that concerned that the pace could get fast in this race. I think he's going to sit, and then we'll just see if he can take a small step forward, probably to beat the Maker horse, but I think he might be able to do it.
The Maker-trained horse, Angelus Warrior, is up next. He scored at Churchill Downs most recently. He got a really nice trip that day under Tyler Gaffalione, basically able to save ground most of the way, eased out into the 2-path, and wore down the pace setter. That was a live race. 2 next-out winners. A horse that didn't win actually finished first. That was Let Me Know, the 3rd-place finisher, who finished first in the Iowa Derby with an 84 buyer and was disqualified and placed 2nd. He gets the right setup, he's got the right connections, and he's got the fig. He's simply the horse to beat.
Yeah, and he's got good tactical speed, too. So all those things sort of conspire to make him the horse to beat in this race. I think it's pretty tough to be against him, Dan. He hasn't found himself in a too tough a spot here.
Hondo Lane has won his last 2 sprint races by a combined 21.5 lengths. No surprise, considering he's a half-brother to the very fast sprinter Chief Cicatriz. Let's watch his most recent race at Canterbury, a 6-furlong race where he actually sat a little bit off the early pace. He has taken over right now, and he is on his way. This is Hondo Lane, going off to win by a good large margin, 10.5 lengths under the wire. What I'm surprised about Mike here is that his sire, Mr. Speaker, who is a very good turf horse, is 0 for 26 with first-time turf runners. The dam was unraced on the surface, but she has foaled one winner from One to Try. This is another horse that tried 2 turns in the Turf Paradise Derby. It didn't work out. I think they should try to at least send this horse or have him sit off of the 2. He should be in prime position turning for home. You would think the Mr. Speaker gives him stamina, but boy, I think he's more Chief Secretaries than Mr. Speaker.
And that's what I thought too. I mean, I wanted to make a case for this horse because when he's been good, he's actually been very good in his races. But the distance is a big question. The surface is a big question for him. We'll see, Dan. I think he can get the right trip in this race. I just couldn't talk myself into him.
Creative Plans won 2 races in a row for Carl Broberg, a win over the Fairgrounds Turf 2 starts back, then scoring in an off-the-turf race at Lone Star Park most recently. This horse is in sneaky good form. He handles the 2-turn. He has tactical speed. I think a good trip is coming here today, and this just looks like a horse that seems to be improving. When he won at the Fairgrounds, he beat 3 next-out winners.
Yeah, he might be the sort of logical other horse to go to. We'll see what happens here. Broberg claimed this horse for 30 out of that win 2 starts back, but that win was on the turf. He did sit a little bit in that race and won it pretty easily at the end, and he obviously took a step forward last time.
While tonight is the 7, this horse is a maiden. He's in very, very tough. He was 27 to 1 in a 25,000 maiden claimer recently. He finished last that day. He is very hard to like. He's going to be a big price.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really easy to make any kind of a case for him in this spot.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Wednesday's race of the day, the Mystic Lake Derby, kicking off a 10% takeout, pick 5. I can't go against Angelus Warrior, maker's record in this race. He is going to be a short price, unfortunately, but I just think he's going to get the right pace set up, even though he did get a very nice trip last time out. You like Summer Assault, a horse that's versatile and be a slightly better price.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I took him. I mean, I found it hard to get creative in this race outside of the 2 favorites. And I'm not, convinced that Angelus Warrior has to win this race. Summer Assault's races are actually pretty good. He's going to get a good trip in this race.
3-4 for Mike, 4-3 for me. We've got the same superfecta, just in different order. It is the Mystic Lake Derby, your DRF race of the day for Wednesday, July the 15th, with an approximate post time of 6:40 Central. Good luck.